It's not everyone who can truly understand, handle, bond with, and cement a relationship with people from other cultures. It is not an easy ordeal. But let's face it, if someone is able to do that, it means that that person is special and unique in many ways. Now, does it mean that people who are not able to bond with people from other cultures are not special? No, no, no. It doesn't mean that. There are three things, in my opinion, that happens or that people need to understand when they tend to attract and get along with people from other cultures. There are three things that they need to understand about that. I relocated overseas, moved from Jamaica to the US after a divorce. And it was a period when I was, to be honest with you, I was really running. I was running away from men, running away from a lot of people, running away from even church. So moving overseas opened up my horizons. And the interesting thing about it is, before I moved from Jamaica, one of my staff members did sit with me and he said to me some words of wisdom. He said, when you move overseas, you're going to meet a lot of men from various countries, various cultures, and he had some advice for me. The truth is, when I relocated from the Caribbean to the United States and my colleague told me I was going to be meeting men from all different cultures all over the world, I had no idea what I would be meeting. I did not know that I would connect with Muslims, with Hindus, with people from different religious backgrounds, with people from almost every nation under heaven. And it's been a journey. So if you are interested in getting closer and bonding with people from various countries, various territories, various cultures, come closer. And if you're not, come closer. Let me help to teach you some of the benefits of doing so. The truth is, we're all connected anyway. We're all part of a greater humanity. Stay with me as I share with you what I learned. Welcome back. My name is Angie Marie and this is my YouTube channel. On this channel, we focus on positivity. We focus on the things that make us happy, such as relationships, money, family, spirituality, travel. All of these things combined help to keep us joyful and happy. Not yet subscribed to this channel? Here's your chance to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be alerted each time I share new content. If this is the first time checking out my channel, you're so welcome. Go ahead and like this video, guys, and remember to make your comments. I really appreciate it. That helps with the algorithm. That helps to keep me going on YouTube. There are three things, in my opinion, that happens or that people need to understand when they tend to attract and get along with people from other cultures. And I'm sharing this with you from experience, from research, and from some knowledge that I've gained over the years. It's like having a particular blood type. It's like having the O blood type that's compatible with all different blood types. So not everyone has the ability, the emotional intelligence, and whatever is needed to be able to accomplish that. But there are some unique people who are meant to do so. Okay, so here are the three things that I believe you need to understand about people who are able to connect with people across cultures. Number one, those people are chosen for a specific purpose. Okay, they're on assignment, and other people should not try to deter because we all have different assignments. Number two, they are intended to have an expanded territory. So someone, for instance, who is, say, from Africa or of African origin, who is able to connect with Latin America or some other countries, God has something in mind for them to be able to expand their borders, expand their territory, to be able to influence and help people from across various territories, and we should not interfere with that either. You probably know the story of this guy who was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho in the Bible, and while he was on the way, he was attacked by robbers. Okay, he was beaten, things stolen from him, and left on the roadside to die. There were people who passed by and saw him and did not attend to him, but the Bible says a good Samaritan stopped and helped this gentleman. Now, was it someone from his culture who helped him? Let me leave that with a question sign. Go do the research and figure it out. So we get to understand that we're humans, and it's not about a particular country of origin of a person. It's about humanity, which we all are. We all are humans, and we have that one thing in common. The third thing I believe is that it affects and impacts our future generation. And many times we don't necessarily see the result in our lifetime, but our grandchildren or future generations are the ones who really benefit. Joseph, who was sold as a slave in Egypt, he married someone who was not from his culture, and his influence remains to this day. Joseph was being seduced. His boss's wife tried to have a relationship, a physical, intimate relationship with Joseph, but Joseph ran away from that because he was wise. He knew that his boss's wife was not part of his assignment. He had a much bigger assignment, and his assignment included his own people in the land where there was a famine, and he was later able to help his own brothers who had betrayed him and sold him to slavery, and also help people in the country that he relocated to. So it's very interesting. In terms of my own story, when I relocated, I had no idea that the first set of people I would meet were Muslims. That I would meet so many people from Africa. That I would meet so many people from other Caribbean territories. And these people became very much like family. We sat together and ate together. My children called them uncles. They picked up my daughters from school when I wasn't around. They expressed various acts of kindness to my children and myself. And to this day, I can pick up the phone and say, hey, how you're doing? Or they can pick up the phone and say, hey, how you're doing? Because we became like family. One of the goals I have in my lifetime is to see how I could help to create a more unified world. The world that God allows me to be in. My little territory, I want to be able to create some unity there and mutual understanding so that people could understand that, hey, we're all humans here and we need to just be kind to each other like brothers and sisters. We all benefit from that. I've come to understand that you all really love it when I share stories, when I share my stories, and believe me, I have a lot of stories that I can share. So on this whole issue of cross-cultural relationships, at the time, I really was not open to that level of relationship. I was more open to platonic relationships, and God allowed it to happen for me for a reason, because during that period of time, I got a chance to understand a lot more about humanity, a lot more about people, a lot more about various countries, and then I came to the understanding that it's not so much about a person's culture as it is about their character. So the mistake that some people make sometimes is that you're focused too much on a person's country, their culture, where they're from, and you ignore the real deeper issues of their spirit, their integrity, their character, who they really are on the inside. All right, so let me share something. So as I said, I was running away from men, from relationships. I had, not long before relocating, had a divorce. So the first place I went to when I moved to the US was Connecticut. The Americans normally laugh at me when I say Connecticut, because we Jamaicans, we in the Caribbean, we pronounce the words the way we see them. We don't say Connecticut, we say Connecticut. Okay, but as long as you understand me, I went up north where during the winter time it got cold. And on my first job, I started working within about 2 weeks after relocating, did my interview, and everything, got hired quickly. On the first job, I met some amazing people from my country, but from a lot of other countries, and we became like family. After Connecticut, the next place I moved to was New York. Again, there was a much better job opportunity for me in New York, and New York is a serious melting pot. In New York, you get to meet so many people. You don't even need a car to meet people. You don't have to go to, well, I've never been to a club or go to parties. You don't go to clubs and parties. Well, you don't have to if that's against your spiritual persuasion, but you still get to meet people. And one of the first groups of people I met in New York were Muslims. There were some Muslims who became truly like family, and I can give you some names: Mohammed, Abdul, Elaj. They became like family. I remember sending boxes to my daughter in school and bringing them to the place where I would send them to, and my good friend at the time, Abdul, he would not collect any money from me. When I say, hey, how much is it? Oh, no, it's okay. He's gonna take care of that. Yep. Elaj, Mohammed, they became like family. Spiritual people, kind, gentle-hearted people. So I got to understand the spirit of Islam, the Muslim spirit, from a different standpoint, and that was from the standpoint of people I met. Physically, who I met, who ate my food, shared my food, and never forced me into a relationship. As to whether they were attracted and so on, it was many, many years later when I'd moved on. In conversations now, these guys seem to be shy when you're face to face with them, and then after you move on and you're having a conversation, that's when they're telling you, oh, you know, all these years I wanted to marry you, sir. Why are you telling me this now? I'm not available. Well, that's pretty much my response. So sometimes while you're running and you feel like you're running away, God has a plan, and is between either God or fate has it that you get connected. I was literally cornered by someone in New York who was the person from Ghana living in New York who had moved there, who helped me to find my way back to church, to God, and to reconnect spiritually. I met my own people. I met people from all over the Caribbean. I met people from the US, but the country that I have most connections with in the US has been Haiti. And that's why you hear me talking so much about Haiti. Beautiful, amazing people. And then there is Ghana, and I have Nigeria. I have lots of Caribbean, lots of other. If I start naming names, some people are probably gonna be offended if I leave you out, but Senegal, Cameroon, Zambia, Gambia, I mean all over the world. God knew what he was doing when he brought me here, and God knew that he had a purpose for me that went beyond my own country borders. But anyway, so we're talking about this cross-cultural marriage, cross-cultural relationships. There is a particular presidential candidate in Haiti, and Haiti is big news right now. There's a lot of things going on in the beautiful country. There are some things going on in the capital city of Port-au-Prince. That's very disturbing, and it's in the news a lot. But I noticed something. One of the charismatic candidates that most of the population seem to want to lead them, his name is Philippe. I saw that Philippe is married to someone from Latin America. Yeah, she is Hispanic. And I believe he knows what he was doing. He knows what he's looking for and who is the person he wants by his side, who's gonna help him to get to the next level. And I'm sure that woman is behind him, protecting him, saying, "Hun, sweetie, Cherie, I'm not gonna allow you to be taken out easily. So we're gonna listen, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna protect you a little bit. I'm gonna keep you a little bit out of the limelight." So recently I've not been seeing too much of him. I believe there's a lot of wisdom in that. The only thing is, for me, at the moment, I have the privilege and the opportunity of the fast forward. Because while I was going through this journey, I was not thinking about the things that I'm sharing with you today. While I was going through the journey, I was just going through a journey. And one of the things I did during the journey was that I wrote this book. And the book is called Lost Crossing BroadWay. You guys need to get a copy of it. I'll have the link In the description, I have the hardcover book here. You could get it on Amazon, but I also have the ebook if you want to download an ebook, and I have the audio book, a shorter version in audio format. All of this is right here. And one of the things, let me just share with you something from the book. Chapter 5 deals with relationships overseas. I find it funny when I look at some things I said and I say to myself, did I say that? It's so funny. I said, if love is blind, she does not have to be deaf and dumb as well. My blood type is O. And while I was working in New York, every 3 months, I was giving blood. It was part of the culture of the office. And what I've learned or I've been told is that my type of blood, physical blood type, is in high demand. And it's in high demand, and that type of blood is compatible with all other blood types. Someone with the O type blood, I'm told, is able to donate blood to all other types. And so that's why when you have O positive or O negative or O blood types, your blood is in high demand. I see a similarity between your blood type and your ability to relate to someone from other cultures. What I've learned is that sometimes if your parents married cross-culturally, it's easier for you to be able to relate and handle people who are from other cultures, because you were able to witness parents who loved each other even though they were born in different countries. So that makes it easier. Now, there are some blood types that are in great demand, but one of the things you need to understand is that the supply might not be as great. And that is why I would say that some of the guys that I met who I learned later had some kind of interest, they were not bold enough. They got close enough to me as friends, or maybe they realized that I was not going to let my guard down to the point to go further anyway. So maybe that's why. But it was much later on that I'm hearing, oh, you know, I've been interested in you all this time. I'm like, too late. In Connecticut, I met wonderful people who my children call uncles, and that is part of our Caribbean culture. That's the way we show respect for someone who is older than you are. Someone in your mom's age group becomes uncle so-and-so, auntie so-and-so. And many times when I was not around, where I had to travel or go somewhere, I could rely on my Haitian friend to pick up my daughters at school, to take my daughters to school. My Ghanaian friend who helped my daughter, even loaned her his car when her car had a problem. And she told me after, Mom, do you know Uncle so-and-so filled up my car with gas and also gave me $100, gave me money. Uncle so-and-so never told me all of these things. It was my daughter. So now, who is to blame? Me or uncle? Now, one of the things I believe though is that, okay, we're not all meant for everyone. You're not meant to be with everyone. Everyone is not meant to be with you. So one of the things we need to do is to find that compatibility. And the compatibility, I believe, should be spiritual as well. So sometimes you can connect socially with someone, but where it comes to the spiritual compatibility, there can be a problem. So all the major issues need to be sorted out. The best sort of cross-cultural relationship that you can have with someone else, someone from a different culture, is one where you guys are compatible in these ways. You're spiritually compatible, emotionally compatible, physically compatible, culturally compatible. And when I say cultural compatibility, what I'd say is that you're able to understand each other's culture, and it does not become a problem. There are not practices that are going to turn you away or push you away or create problems in the relationship. So it's possible to have that cross-cultural bond where things will work. Now, here are some of the dangers and the problems that happen with relationships from different cultures. And I would say this as a woman of faith, a Christian woman who believes in the Bible. I've seen different people in the Old Testament, for instance, who traveled and who married people from different cultures. Joseph, for instance, who is one of our greatest examples, well, he was sold as a slave and he married someone from another culture. Moses married from another culture, and there were family members who had a problem with it. But God was upset with those family members because God is a person who creates everyone and does not tolerate those sorts of behaviors. As far as God is concerned, this is his creation. It doesn't matter where that person came from. So the people who had a problem with Moses' wife got in trouble with God. And then what was interesting to me to note also was that a great person in the Bible, ended up telling a lie about his wife. When he moved to a different country, he had to pretend or let them believe that his wife was his sister. And according to the Bible, she was fair, she was beautiful. Now, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, why should the fact that someone's beauty that is a little bit different from the other person, your beauty, because what? Look, we're all beautiful, right? So just because Sarah's beauty was different from the people's beauty, why should that be a problem? That Abraham feared for his life, that if they knew this was his wife, he would be killed and they would take her for themselves. To me, that's kind of crazy. The truth is, it's something that happens even now. Sometimes there are people who are envious of others because of their perception of the person's choice of a partner. And they won't tell you that, oh, this person looks in their mind, oh, why should they have this particular woman? And if they know that you're with her, they're going to kill you for it. Why? But these are some of the things that happen. And that's why sometimes some people are very protective of their relationship until it's solid and sealed and the foundation is very strong. They try to protect it and not let the whole world or let their people know, which is a little unfair. Your first language may differ, but what about your emotional language? What about your physical compatibility? What about your emotional and spiritual compatibility? These are the things that matter even more, because I've learned that if you can cross spiritual, emotional, physical issues related to compatibility, then you can certainly cross the cultural ones, because the spiritual, physical, emotional compatibility issues supersede the questions of culture. And when that happens, you're better able to cross over and understand each other culturally and truly have an amazing relationship with each other. So one of the main things I've learned is that we are more alike. We have more similarities than differences. And I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to experience this and also to be able to share this with you now. So the way to a woman's heart, is to protect her, communicate with her, pay her attention, and be straight with her. Be truthful and honest with her. Show her love, show her care, show her compassion. Be consistent. It doesn't matter her culture, where she's from. If she's a woman of good character, a woman of integrity, and you do these things as a man, you'll make some inways into her heart. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate you. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I thank you so much for you who have already subscribed to this channel. I want to encourage you to also watch this other video. If you like this one, you'll also enjoy this one. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is Angie Marie, and I'll see you soon in the next video.